Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen around the world in US, Canada, England, Africa, Germany, and entire Europe, Middle East, Asia Pacific, from India to Thailand to Malaysia to Singapore to Afghanistan, and somewhere in Bangladesh as well as in Sri Lanka, the admirers of one and only Anupam Kher Sahib. Welcome to this new DNA of leadership, prime time series, one-to-one interaction. Today is a very, very special day at New DNA of Leadership, wherein we have someone very admirable, natural, unique, passionate, absolutely magical. I repeat, someone very admirable, natural, unique, passionate, absolutely magical. That is Anupam. Anupam Kher Sahib, let me have an opportunity of introducing you to an extent, because I can't introduce you in detail because so much. I will take an hour to introduce you. Anupam Kher Sahib is a great Indian actor and the former chairman of Film and Television Institute of India. More than 500 films, and number of plays. 2 National Film Award winner and 8 Filmfare Awards. The story from Saransh to Lamhe to Ram Lakhan to Dar to Kher to Dilwale Duniya Banayenge, Daddy to Main Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara to Vijay, and to the latest hashtag Kashmir Files. Amazing, unbelievable, unknown, unheard roles, performances played by this one man called Sri Anupam Kher. Then on the top of all this, international performances, be it Golden Globe, Golden Lloyd, and so on and so on. He is not only an Indian Bollywood actor, he is a global actor. And finally, which is more important than anything else, he is a nationalist, super duper nationalist. He has won Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. And I salute Anupam Kher Sahib for such a passionate performances, and on the top of it, becoming Indian real ambassador to the global world as an actor, as a social activist. Sir.
Sir, bas karo, ho gaya. Thank you so much, Bakshi Sahib. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. It's a very, very elaborate and very generous introduction to me. I feel I have just begun. Abhi to interval hua, abhi to bahut kuch karna baki hai. And but thank you. We have been trying to fix up this meeting for a long time, but I'm glad it's finally happened. And namaskar to your audiences, your people who join you on this show, and very happy to be answering your questions. See.
Thank you so much, Kher Sahib. Personal admiration for you, for what you are. Let me start. Sir, your journey of excellence as a very unique actor started from Saransh, the movie An Angry Old Man, with an impressive dialogue which people can never, ever forget at the customs. And that was, मैं television लाने नहीं आया हूँ, मैं अपने बच्चे की अस्त्र लेके आ रहा हूँ. It was a very high level of mature performance. And at an age which was not your age, you just started at the first movie. How do you see that role becoming one of the best? Of course, best has come later. And how do you see you as an actor evolved since then? My request is, We have a global audience in this.
Yeah, I'll try and speak.
So we'll do English and Hindi mix. That doesn't mean we should not do Hindi, but mostly we'll do in English. That's my
I will
request.
try. I'm a Hindi medium school. Went to a Hindi medium school, and I think in Hindi, but I will try for your global audiences. So I came to Mumbai on the 3rd of June, 1981, after I was a gold medalist from a drama school. I came to Bombay to become an actor, but in that time, early 80s, I was balding and I was thin, and it was unheard of that a person who is bald and thin would want to be an actor, because people used to say that why don't you become a assistant director or a writer? But I was trained as an actor, and I knew that if you work hard and if you're honest, you will achieve whatever you want to have. And after for 3 years that I was looking for work, it was tough. It was tough. I was homeless. I was sleeping on the railway platforms, and I had no money. And then Mr. Mahesh Bhatt met me, and after doing my audition, he offered me the role of Saransh. I was 28 at that time, and I played a 65-year-old man. A lot of people ask me how did I do that, but I was an actor. I didn't think it was my job to do well. It was my job to be recognized as one of the good actors from India, and also it was the beginning of my career. I knew that this film will decide the future of my life, and this is how people will remember me for the rest of my life, and I will make it easy for my journey. So to be very honest, yes, on cinema, it's difficult to look old realistically. On theater, people take it for granted. Yes, he must be an old man playing, a young man playing an old man. But people actually did not believe that I was 28. They thought this is a newcomer who has started late, who is doing some one role at the age of 60. But I have always tried to do different things, because that's what I felt that is very important. So I also broke this myth of typecasting. Hamare yahan, we used to have the same actor, same role being played for the rest of the life, one role, and then go on. But I was experimenting with myself. I was doing Karma, Khosla Ka Ghonsla, Ram Lakhan, Chalbaz, Wednesday, Special Chabis, because I thought that will keep me alive as an actor. And that's what happened. So for 37 years and 523 films is something which I felt, means as I said in the beginning, that this is just the beginning. Because the more you do work, the more you discover what kind of an actor you are, what kind of a person you are. And then the person comes into your performance. And that is what the end result of that is Kashmir Files. Because the person took over the actor, and that it was a personal tribute to lakhs of Kashmiri Pandits who were forced to leave their own home. So basically, when you want to be different, you have to do things differently.
Fantastic. Yes, based on this, I have another question now. Since you have done multiple roles, versatile roles, you have won awards as an actor, comedian, villain, you name any role which you have not done. How do you do this so convincingly and so naturally? Because when people look at Anupam Kher Saab in any of the roles, in any of the movies, of course, I'll come to the Kashmir Files later, which is very important for both of us as well as for the audiences today. Where from you inherited? Is there inheritance of this acting? Because when I look at your father, he doesn't come from that background. How did it happen to you? And you became such an impressive, unique, as well as a natural actor.
I'm a trained actor, ji. I did it 4 years training. When you become an engineer, you do training for 5 years. When you become a doctor, you do 5, 6, 10 years of training. Whenever the problem is that anybody could become actor. And if somebody's father had money, they became actors. If somebody had some shopkeeper who was financing the film, it was easy to become an actor if you were contacts. But the longevity of an actor only depends on how much does he know the craft. I had no other alternate but to go through a drama school. And when you do a 4-year-old training, then it equips you to sort of become whatever you described. Um, and at that time, there were not many actors who were trained, because we had just, it was only India was only about 26 years old country, and India did not have any issues of finding out various things. जो भी दिखाई देता था उसको लोग पसंद करते थे. 1000 साल की गुलामी के बाद, after being dominated by or ruled by the foreigners, 200 years of British rule and 800 years of Mughal rule, we were finding our own roots. So it's not anybody's fault, but still we had actors like Balraj Sani and Dilip Kumar. They were my inspiration. But I used to dream in smaller town. I came from a very poor family. My father was a clerk in the forest department. And you dream a lot in a small town. And after my parents migrated from Kashmir to Shimla. But my competition is with my own self. My competition is with not others. I need to rise in my own eyes. I need to say, oh, wow, this is fantastic. That doesn't mean that I have not done substandard and mediocre work. I have done mediocre work. But because for me, life is a journey, not a destination. I feel that life is 20% excitement and 80% monotony. Every day you don't eat pulao and biryani and chicken tikka and rogan josh and charman and mats and damalu. You eat monjahak and rice and something simpler, muchatin. So, and there are certain days. So, but I would like to proudly say that in my biography, I can name at least 50 films where I can say I'm proud of these films. I'm proud of my bad work also. I'm proud of my mediocre work also, because they were part of my journey and they were giving me an opportunity to sort of do something in life. So it's just hard work. You have to be, you have to, I've never taken my so-called success for granted. And as I said to you, how will I get this introduction which you gave me from Mr. Bakshi if I have not worked so hard?
Fantastic. Here's how, while we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, when you're going to watching this show, now it's very clear that there's a skill required. So through the training, the 4 years, Anupam Kher would pick up the skill, would pick up an attitude, but then there was somewhere in some part of his DNA a positive attitude, because he is talking about that when I do the mediocre movies, I learn out of that. And he's talking about two major things, which is honest and hard work. He has been repeating this quite some time. I have seen his interactions with various people. He has been talking about honesty and hard work. Honesty and hard work.
Grandfather, Mr. Bakshi. I lived with my grandfather, Pandit Amarnath Kher, and I was very fortunate to spend my initial years with him. He was a great guy. He was a great man, an intellectual, a sadhu, like most of the Kashmiri Pandits of that time were. Your grandparents were all very, very educated, very, very. So he had told me that if you work hard and you're honest, no power can stop you. And I have never wanted to prove him wrong.
He's watching you.
Saransh was dedicated to my grandfather.
Wow.
Because somewhere I felt that. And also it's your fear of failure which stops you from doing brilliant work. Because when you're competent, you can never be brilliant.
Absolutely.
And when you don't have a fear of failure, at a very young age, my father took away this fear of failure from my life when he said to me that failure is an event, never a person.
Wow.
So when you don't have a fear of failure and you're an optimist, I'm an eternal optimist, it's a very lethal combination.
Good.
then no power on earth can sort of bog you down. And third thing is, I don't take myself seriously. It's not that I don't wear a taj or a crown of pretending that, oh, now I have achieved so much, so I should be taken seriously. I should be taken seriously because if I deliver. If I don't deliver, I will not be taken seriously.
Sir, your grandfather and your father, they are watching you now, what you have done.
I'm
Paying
sure.
respects to them, folded hands, and you being very simple, very caring, and we see going on the roadside and talking about it. I have that question here now. A journey of excellence, which you have with a lot of versatile roles, not only nationally, but you have broken a lot of ceiling for
Yeah.
USA on the roles in global cinema.
Yes, sir.
This is very important. How did you? What did you? There was a need. I will be. Did you need any preparation, mental preparation, for doing this at a global level? Because this will be a good learning for those who are going to be in any leadership roles.
I don't think there is any formula or a book which sort of says that how to be successful. All those so-called books, I'm sorry, don't work. All those books, how to win friends. Means I have great respect for Dale Carnegie, who wrote that book. But you have to make your own rules. You have to make your own rules thanks to your family. Your family is the best teacher. Your grandparents are the best teacher. Your parents are the best teacher. Unfortunately, we don't listen to them. Unfortunately, they become cliches for us. Unfortunately, our parents are, अरे यार ये तो बुजुर्ग हो गए अभी. अरे बुजुर्ग हो गए इसलिए उनको जिंदगी के बारे में सब कुछ पता है. उनसे बेटर आपको कौन सिखा सकता है? This whole idea of being cool and not listening to the parents is a ridiculous thing. And also, unfortunately, for today's generation, though I have great regards for this generation, they may come across as irreverent, but they are very honest, I must say that. But the problem is, because today information comes with a button you press called Google, but that information does not turn into knowledge without living life. Knowledge comes with by living life. And you should keep your eyes open. Anybody can teach you anything. It's whether it's a doorman at the way he speaks to you at the gate of a five-star hotel, whether it is your driver. You have to be open to change. You have to be open to sort of listen to things. Everything, even a conversation with you, which changes, can teach me millions of things. But problem is that we don't do that. We don't have, of course, books do help us. Of course, watching movies do help us. But learning comes only from the desire to learn, from the need to learn. Learning का कोई syllabus नहीं होता है कि अभी आपने जी PhD कर ली learning. Then how is it possible? You are learning it till your last day of on this earth. Everything is inspirational. Everything is a process of learning. So I feel when I meet people, and I'm people's person. When I meet people, when I talk to people, I feel, oh my God, there is a connection. This man knows something. What is personality? Personality is a person who is comfortable with himself or herself. A person who is comfortable with who he is or who she is a personality. Pretending, people who pretend don't like themselves. I like myself.
Wow.
So I don't have to be somebody else. So once my grandfather was eating food, and also because we leave our happiness on other people's hands. We wait for other people to give us certificates so that we like ourselves. I am very happy with learning from anybody. Once my grandfather was eating food, my mother was serving him. So my grandfather was, while eating, making sound. Like that. So my mother said, Babuji, what are you doing? You are making sound while eating. My grandfather said, I'm enjoying it. Problem is yours. So it's how you, what your attitude towards your life is. It's how how much you want to expand your knowledge. And it's not necessarily about life is the best book. Life से बड़ी book कौन हो सकती है?
Absolutely.
जो किताबों में लिखा है वो भी life से ही आया है.
True, sir.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir. You are I can call you a Mr. Motivator, Mr. Inspiration for people. And
My
people like me.
friends call me Guru Kher.
Guru Kher. Yes, that's a fact of life. And I am a leadership
Because
coach.
I think you, when you are telling the truth, you don't have to remember it.
Absolutely. That is the beauty. When you are telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen, you need not to remember it. It's only when you are lying, then you don't know what you have spoken. That is the beauty of Anupam Kher Saab, the Guru Kher, the Mr. Motivator. And stick with me, who is a leadership coach and a leadership trainer doing work in global world. Today, I am having an interaction with someone who is giving me a lot of goosebumps. He's giving me a lot of gyan. He's giving me simple gyan of becoming a great human being first. And when you become a great human being, you become a great leader. You
because
become a great
people will keep coming, and there are people who will be much more talented than you. People, they will be much more successful than you. Means we lost Lata Mangeshkar. How do we remember her? We lost Kishore Kumar. We lost Dilip Kumar. Where do we remember them? But it is important that how many lives did you touch?
Beautiful.
That is what is important. हाँ बस सक्सेस का तो रेट है मुझसे बहुत ज्यादा पैसा कमाते हैं लोग मुझसे बहुत ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल लोग हैं but I think as long as I try or strive to be a successful person it's beautiful और उसमें fail भी होना है pass भी होना है life is to live. My father, before 10-20 minutes before dying, he whispered in my, I said, Dad, is there something you want to tell me, something, a life mantra, please, because I knew that he was very ill and he was dying. So he brought me to his mouth, to my ears, and a person who was going to die in the next 20 minutes, his last words to me were, live life.
Wow.
So I live life. I live happily. For me, this moment is important. I know that I took a lot of time before we could fix up this interview, but now I am here. I am here 100%. For me, it is not important. Whatever conversation we are going to have, it is a real conversation. I am talking to somebody who is asking me questions and I have my answers are whatever I think about my life or about whatever I've learned. So we need to live in present. That is what is important. We are either living in the past or thinking of what we can do in future. And इस पूरे चक्कर में ये जो वक्त हम गुजार रहे हैं वो उसका मजा ही नहीं लेते हम.
I can tell you this interaction of ours is going to go around to multiple families and it is going to be multiplied more and more because people are going to be watching and they're going to be picking up learning from this interaction and some of them will be applying in their lives and they will remember this interaction of ours. And personally, I'll be certain, I have already picked up, I am noting down some of the things and especially live life. Anupam Kher's father telling in his ear, what a powerful statement. And he is living life. So I have talked about acting, movies, as a global brand, you are a global brand ambassador of this country. I'm going one important question, which has been coming to my mind always whenever I look at you, as compared to any other Bollywood actors. You have been one of the very few Bollywood actors in the country who spoke on social political views openly, especially coming from an industry where usually they keep quiet on such issues or they are afraid of losing fans. How did this courage come in you, Kher Saab? You are seen as a very fearless personality of Bollywood.
Truth gives you courage.
Wow.
Truth may take a little time to reach people. Lie reaches faster. But at the end of it, I have always believed that truth triumphs. That gives me courage. And my father's statement that failure is an event, never a person, that gives me courage. And that I am a self-made person, that gives me courage. And I want to be popular with myself. That's important rather than popular with the world. I need to look at myself and feel proud of the person that I am. If I'm not proud of myself, trying to please others, then I'm not happy. So if truth bothers sometimes, and some people are not your friends anymore, then they were never my friends.
Wow.
There are only few people who matter in your life, your family and few friends. And I have those friends and I have that family. पूरी दुनिया को तो भगवान भी खुश नहीं कर सकता. ऐसा एक भी आदमी बता दो. Tell me one person in the world who is admired, liked by everybody. Not really. Not at all. There are people who criticize Gandhi also. There are people who criticize God also. अरे यार मेरा काम नहीं किया, मैं बर्बाद हो गया, मेरे को कुछ नहीं किया, हटो यार, ये देखो. हमारे तो रामायण में सीता जब वापस आई थी लंका से, तो एक धोबी ने कहा था कि कैसे हम इसको रख सकते हैं. तो रामचंद्र जी भगवान थे, उन्होंने सीता की अग्नि परीक्षा की. तो हम तो अब मॉर्टल किस्म के लोग हैं. Courage is very infectious. Courage separates you from common people. And God should just keep you healthy. I can start from anywhere. I came to the city of Mumbai with 37 rupees in my pocket, half a dollar. From that point of view, I'm a multimillionaire, and I will never be in a situation where I will only be remained with 37. I've gone through my own hardships, but there was a time when I went almost bankrupt at the peak of my life. There was a time when I was shooting for Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. I had facial paralysis. Failure has always happened. But how can I live? How can I not live with the truth? So truth is triumphant. It is not Anupam Kher's courage. It is the courage of truth, which has all sort of given me courage to speak my mind. Of course, it's not a politically correct thing to do. It makes you unpopular with some people, but I'm like that with people also. मैं पूरी दुनिया को थोड़ा खुश करने के लिए पैदा हूँ. मैं अपने आप को खुश करने के लिए पैदा हूँ. और अगर मैं अपने आप को खुश करता हूँ, I'm not saying that it should go to my head when I'm mad, but if I'm not happy with what I do in my personal life and set examples for it, I have millions of faults, I'm sure. I have millions of shortcomings. But one strength I have is to be truthful to myself. And by being truthful to myself, I'm truthful to the world.
Wow, this is immensely amazing and fascinating, ladies and gentlemen, the way I am going across with such a great personality of our country who has made impact on the global world as well as anywhere in the 7 billion population. And he is talking about truth, hard work, honesty, and simplicity. And he is talking about those family values. And even if the parents go away when he is talking about the truth, he is not worried about it. And he is different. Now, I am moving from your acting, normal acting, global went to Kashmir diaspora. Now you've seen, sir, you are a Kashmiri Pandit. You belong to the Kashmiri community. People of Kashmiri Pandit diaspora, how do you see this diaspora now becoming very visible and aggressive in the world? What makes diaspora so powerful and strong to enhance the presence in the world when our population is too small, not even talk about? And you know, I belong to Global Kashmiri Pandit diaspora, and you are one of the prime drivers. Now we'll come later on to the Kashmir files. How do you see our Global Kashmiri Pandit diaspora going forward?
I think Kashmiri Pandits' biggest strength is that they believe in education. That is their biggest strength. Their biggest strength is that they believe in non-violence. Their biggest strength is that they can start from scratch. They don't give up. And that comes with the thanks to our parents who told us to get educated. We are basically peace-loving people. We believe in Ma Sharda and Ma Saraswati. We come from the land of Tulamula and we come from the land of Shankaracharya. We come from the land where tolerance is taught and it becomes part of our DNA. And we have practiced it for thousands and thousands of years. We have, and we believe we have a self-resilience. We have a self-preservation greatest quality. And it's born. We are born like that. It's nothing. It's a manufacturing defect, and which I'm proud of. Um, we may have issues with each other, and we are amazingly patriotic. We love the land which of the world, we love the land from where we came and which has given us so much, and we are grateful to that. We understand the meaning of gratefulness. So that's what is important. We are emotional. We don't call people with Uncle Ji or Auntie Ji. We have our Bobu Ji. We have our Gasha Ji. We give affectionate names to Bailal, Baraj. That no other community has that kind of a thing. We don't generalize relationships. Jigri, by 30. अनबिलीवेबल है. मैं सोच रहा था इसके बारे में कि कोई किसी कम्युनिटी में ऐसा नहीं. हाँ, होते हैं कुछ लोग बुलाते हैं बाजी माजी. I'm sure and I have great respect for that. But we have so many, and we are very funny also, unknowingly. That's what I have learned from my own family. So I think it's, and I'm sure every ethnicity has those qualities. But since we are talking about Kashmiri people, I'm answering that. We are told, our parents teach us to become educated. Our parents teach us the power of gyan, the power of knowledge. That's why even after this horrific exodus, we have flourished. We have become sad, and we may be hurt, but we have tried not to become bitter. We still love our country. We still, the country which did not take care of our exodus or our genocide, which did not, 32 years, but that did not make us say, oh, we don't, Bharat, abhi bhi हमारे लिए भारत हमारी माता है, and Bharat Mata ki jai bolte hain abhi bhi hum. जी.
Very, very rightly said. Those who are watching us right now on the show, this is a fact of life that Kashmiris have that unique quality of never to give up, never ever to give up, even after such a sad 32 years, and nobody even cared, nobody even heard us.
And our religion, one more point, our religion has taught us to be tolerant. Our religion does not allow us to become violent. Our religion tells us tolerance is the biggest virtue. Our religion tells us that by chanting mantras, it gives you peace. Our religion tells us, but हमारे women पगड़ी पहनती थी. मतलब कितनी community में भी women पगड़ी पहनती. I'm very proud to be a Kashmiri. First, I'm very proud to be an Indian, and then second, I'm proud to be a Kashmiri, because thank God I was not a very good student in my class. So when knowledge I talk about, I used to never get more than 38% marks in my life. But my grandfather and my grandmother and my father and my mother and my uncles and my aunts, Mohanlal Kher, Brijnath ji, Amarnath ji, Motilal Kak, Mohanlal Kak, these people have unknowingly instilled so much of love and knowledge in me that it did not matter to me whether I stood first in my class or I got. They gave me knowledge about life.
Wow.
And life की knowledge जो है वो ज़्यादा चलती है. School की knowledge तो आपको पैसा कमाती है, ओहदा देती है. Life की knowledge जो है, that gives you courage and that gives you a path how to live life.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine I am being told about people skills, I am being told about life skills, I am being told about knowledge is the real currency of the millennium, the way Anupam Kher Saab is going on. I am finding it a very great masterclass of leadership for me because he is giving a lot of gyan to us. Now, I am now purposely moving to our Kashmir files. You have been our voice as Kashmiri Party voice for many years. And then finally, being part of Kashmir files, which has taken our cause to unbelievable heights, which even I did not believe when I was at Houston on the grand finale with Vivek Agnihatri and Palvi Joshi and Dr. Surinder Kaul, 30th of December. After watching the movie, even I did cry. I had that feeling. I watched your, unbelievable acting in the way you did. Now, did you ever envisage while playing this role that this is what's going to happen to the public in India and the global communities after watching this movie? Because this is an unheard story retold. This is not real. This is real after 3 decades. आपके mind में, did you, while shooting, did you think, did you envisage? I'm going to be asking the similar question to Vivek Agnihotriji and Pallavi Joshi next week there in Bangkok. How do you feel? Did you have something in your mind at that point of time?
No, I'll be lying if I tell you yes, I did not. I did not. Nobody in the unit. Nobody, I am sure even Vivek and Pallavi, to this level, we knew that what we were doing, we were dealing with truth. Again, I will come back to truth. We were dealing with something which was real. We were obsessed for those 1 month, and I'm sure Pallavi and Vivek were there for a long time, 3 years, 4 years, they did research. But on a personal level, it was not only Pushkar Nath Pandit's story in my mind. It was the story of more than 7 lakh people, 7 million people, 7 lakh people. I was carrying the burden of telling their story truthfully. I've never been so nervous in my career as an actor or as a person as I was during the making of Kashmir Files. Because for me, it was not only my family was those 7 lakh people. My family was those people who were killed. I was representing them, their relatives. I was representing people who had to 500,000 people who had to leave their belongings, whether it was my own Motilal Kak, my own mother's younger brother, or for that matter, anybody. I was representing Girija Tikku's sadness and how her family must have dealt with it. Tikalal Tapluji's family, and so many unknown faces. So I could only give this film my heart and my soul, not my acting. Acting was not important required in this film. That I discovered very early, at the very early stage when I was working on the film. And I told myself, Mr. Anupam Kher, leave your acting at home. This is something to deal with your soul, your heart, your wounds of so many people, their heartaches, their sense of belonging for their hometown, the people who lived in refugee camps, their hardship. You are carrying single-handedly the burden and the sadness and the heartbreak of so many people. So for me, this film was a philosophy of life, the most difficult thing in the world. And I'm very happy. And I knew that truth travels. But the fact that it has traveled to the remote corners of the world is most humbling. I'm grateful to God Almighty that our story has reached everybody. It's not important it has made so much money. Of course, that is important because it has to make money. I'm sorry. So
you make, Anupam Saab, you make emotional, because when we were watching your heart and soul, what you said, you put it. I certainly believe that it was not an act. I certainly believe it was complete heart and soul. And especially when I look at your role as Pushkar Nath and your father's name is Pushkar Nath, how did you look at that role? I don't know what question I should do.
I attribute my films, which are important films of my career, I attribute in my mind, it's a tribute to somebody I love, somebody I respect, somebody I admire. In my mind, when I did Saransh, it was a tribute to my grandfather. And my mother is very popular on social media because I do these interviews. My father was an ordinary man, but an extraordinary father. So I thought if I make my father's name my name, it will again burden me that I have to be truthful. So today Pushkar Nath is world known.
Yeah.
इससे अच्छा ट्रिब्यूट एक बेटा अपने बाप को क्या दे सकता है?
Standing ovation for you, sir. Sir, I have been told while the shooting was on and with other actors, whenever a shot was being played, there was a lot of emotions, there were a lot of sentiments. Every shot was becoming a very memorable. And in fact, this morning only, Vivek Agnetri put one of the shot when you were in the hospital. He comes to you to meet you and hug you on that bed. And I literally cried because I saw that shot of that movie, and he was saying that this is while shooting. So what was happening when this movie was being shooted? Can you share some memories? And
So there was not a
some of the young stars.
There was not a single scene of mine where we did not cry after the scene.
Oh my God.
Not a single. Because I think the fact that we were performing the scenes of the people, for them it was that it actually happened to them. It actually happened when that scene of me feeling cold and dementia sets in and I say, Shina Pyato, Pyato, Baya, ito, ito. It was the longing of this old man for his home. Rather the scene of where I try and refugee camp and try to eat biscuit.
Yes, yes.
I went to my hotel room after that. I had ordered some soup. What happened to that man who actually was there? Or whether my death scene, what Vivek put was my death scene. बेचारा बोलता मेरे स्कूटर में पेट्रोल डलवा देना और मेरे को वो पानी वहां पार और जाएंगे हम वहां पर हम गाड़ी से जाएंगे हम फ्लाइट से नहीं जाएंगे. I think the knowledge that this actually happened to people was breaking us down. Like what happened to Jews in Holocaust. And the fact that the story was suppressed for 32 years. Kashmiris were going through double tragedy. One is that they actually went through this and the world was not there to recognize that, which was so sad, which was the criminal silence of politicians, of media people, of intellectuals was horrifying. They still try and come up with the conspiracy theories. They still come up, they are still in denial. But this time things are different because it has touched people's heart. It couldn't have done so well if it did not touch people and their heart and their soul. युगांडा में, न्यूजीलैंड में, अभी दुबई में रिलीज हो रही है. अब जहां भी पिक्चर देख रहे हैं, मैं अभी ट्रैवल करके दिल्ली आया, मतलब फ्लाइट में तो आदमी कहीं नहीं जा सकता. लोग आ रहे हैं, पैर पकड़ रहे हैं, गले लग के रो रहे हैं. मैं एक फंक्शन में कल गया था. मतलब मेरे 37 साल में मैंने बहुत अच्छे रोल किए और मैंने जिंदगी I'm lucky to be part of some iconic super duper hit films, whether it was Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun. But the kind of reaction I am getting in this film is something which does not happen in an actor's life.
Amazing. I mean, we are all excited and
बस
thrilled.
करो बख्शी साहब, अभी बहुत हो गया, अभी मन
Sir,
उदास भी हो गया, अब
नहीं
बस
नहीं सर, दो क्वेश्चन हो रहे. Sir, what makes you to feel when people in the industry did not even talk about Kashmir?
डरे हुए लोग हैं, they're frightened people, they're small people. I'm sorry to say that a generous person applauds everybody. So the fact that they are not generous about it makes them smaller people. It is sad to acknowledge somebody and somebody's brilliance, to acknowledge that they are not only being disrespectful towards a film which is touching people's heart, they're also being disrespectful towards the tragedy of Kashmiri Hindus. But it doesn't matter.
And
It doesn't matter.
especially, and sir, another one, especially when people start mocking and laughing, how do you react to those individuals? Are they mental cases?
Absolutely. They're completely insensitive. But that is the beginning of their end.
Oh, very good.
कहीं से इसी हिंदी फिल्म में, टिपिकल हिंदी फिल्म में, जब विलन जो होता है खासकर, उसको जब हारना होता है तो वो हंसना शुरू करता है. आप देखना, कभी भी क्लाइमेक्स से पहले वो हंसता है, बिकॉज उसकी हार होने वाली है. और 7 लाख कश्मीरी हिंदुओं की जब आह लगेगी तो वो कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा, या कोई भी ऐसे बढ़ेगा. सो इट डजंट मैटर. हमने इनके बगैर अपनी जिंदगी जी है. आप जानते हैं, मैं जानते हैं, आप जो काम कर रहे हैं अपने थाईलैंड में, आप हैं कश्मीर में, अमेरिका में कितने कश्मीरी पंडित मुझे मिले, हर जगह दे आर ऑल फ्लरिशिंग. बट अपने अंदर एक जख्म लेकर वो फ्लरिश कर रहे थे. अब उनके जख्म बाहर निकले हैं, अब लोग उनको पहचानते हैं. जब कोई बोलता है, कल ऑडियंस में एक कश्मीरी लड़की खड़ी हुई, द मोमेंट शी सेड मैं कश्मीरी हिंदू हूं, तो होल क्राउड started clapping.
That's what my question here is. What do you see now, Kashmiri Pandits next? This light has now spread around the world. What do you think should be the course of action towards Kashmiri Pandits?
First of all the Kashmiri Pandits should come together. There are millions of organizations separate. Either ye hai, udhar wo hai, idhar walana hai. They have to come together. Number one, Article 370 ka abrogation and 35A was the beginning, greatest step. Let's not take that for granted. No government had the guts and the courage to do that. This government has done that. Let's acknowledge that. Let's not become now people, अरे हमको अब बसाया नहीं. आपको निकालने के लिए 1 दिन लगे थे, लेकिन बिल्डिंग गिराने के लिए 1 घंटा लगता है, बिल्डिंग बनाने में साल लगते हैं. So with all due respect to everybody, the change will happen positively. I'm beginning to see that. It may not happen in your lifetime, sir. It may not happen in my lifetime, but I promise you that our generation, next generation, and their generation will go back to their homes and have a kind of a, under your name and my name, कि मेरा दादा जी के बख्शी यहाँ पर रहता था, मेरा दादा अनुपम खेर यहाँ रहता था. उनके मेमोरियल की सड़कें होंगी, उनके मेमोरियल के घर होंगे, उनके मेमोरियल्स के गार्डन्स होंगे. So आज नहीं होगा, कल नहीं होगा. Change does not happen overnight. It took us 1,000 years to become independent, sir. 200 years from Britishers and 800 years from Mughals. 1,000 years. It will take time, but it will happen. It will positively happen.
My last question to you, which is very important. I cannot let you go without that. And I am talking about Dulari Ma. She truly rocks. She is an endearing Kashmiri mother today. The whole nation and the world, all the NRIs even are connected to her. What makes you to take her videos and share with the world, post with the world? And how does Dulari rocks becoming very powerful? I love her. I
So
love her.
When my father passed away on the 10th of February 2012, they were married for 59 years. 59 years marriage is not between husband and wife only, it's between two friends also then. It's between two partners. And for any partner who is gone and the other partner has to live, their life can be very lonely. And I personally felt that my mother must know that she was married to a wonderful person. So on his fourth day ceremony, which is prayer ceremony, I decided that we will not have a regular prayer ceremony. We will celebrate his life rather than mourn his death. So we invited a rock band and made them play all my father's famous songs. My father used to love a drink in the evening. I decided to tell people not to wear white clothes. We told them to come in colored clothes. And I narrated all the funniest incidents of my father. And I told them that we have to laugh today to celebrate my father's life. And after that, my mother needed to be fit. It was not planned. It happened organically. And I was once doing a video and I started recording it. And then I put it on my social media and people loved it. And then I discovered that we discard our old parents in our mind and from our homes. They are just part of furniture. And today I will say very proudly, even if a very small percentage have started taking their mothers and fathers seriously. My mother is not aware of what she has become. She is an internet sensation. She tells me in Kashmiri, kya chup raha, nim kya tulan mein sit photo. So I think that is what we need to do, because there is no bigger blessing than the parents' blessings.
Beautiful.
No bigger blessing. मेरे हिसाब से coolness की definition is to be compassionate is to be cool. To be honest is to be cool. To be truthful is to be cool. To be punctual is to be cool. To make people laugh is to be cool. To make people happy. My father used to say the easiest thing in the world is to make somebody happy. And my mother, I'm sure, misses my father, but at least we have made her life comfortable by giving her all the love we can give. That's what she deserves. उनकी greatness, उनके आशीर्वाद से आज हम जो भी हैं, उनका ही आशीर्वाद. कोई मेहनत नहीं, कोई हार्ड वर्क नहीं, कोई कुछ नहीं. जब तक माँ बाप का आशीर्वाद नहीं रहता है, तब तक इंसान कुछ नहीं.
Tulari Rocks, please convey my hand-folded pranams to her and tell her that there's another admirer, her son D.K. Bakshi, remembering you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of the most amazing discussions, interaction we had with such a powerful Anupam Kher Saab. In fact, we are going to be missing you in Bangkok.
I know, I'm so sorry, I'm shooting in Delhi, but my good luck with you, and through you, I want to say namaskar and nalmot to virtual nalmot to every Kashmiri Hindu, Kashmiri Pandit. And I'm whatever I can do for them, I have been doing it for the last so many years, and I will continue to do that. And it's a large family that we have. Lots and lots of love to every Baito, to Bairaj, to everybody, Jigri, Titi Jigri, to every love to everybody. Okay, namaskar, Mara.
Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure, indeed pleasure.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard Anupam Kher Saab. What an amazing discussion we had this morning. It is recorded, and this will be available on various platforms at 5:30 IST today on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. It has really been a very amazing discussion. I, on behalf of the DW, should thank Anupam Kher Saab for such a powerful discussion. Thank you very much. Bye.